Hello, everybody. Today I'm sharing the details of our upcoming spring detox week. So, this is our spring challenge for this year. I thought it would be a really great time for us to just reset and refocus, especially because today is St. Patrick's Day. And I know that probably a lot of us aren't necessarily thinking about like the best food choices, but it is going to be really important, especially after some type of holiday, or maybe if you just haven't been eating the foods that are most supportive of your goals, to just reset and refresh and just get back on track with feeling really great again. So, starting on Monday, March 24th, which is this upcoming Monday, we're going to be kicking off the spring detox week. So, it's a 7-day spring detox. And this is not like your average sugar detox. I'm sure all of you guys have heard of like just a regular sugar detox before. Yes, we are going to be focused on reducing sugar, but it's not just that, because we want to get the best results possible. So we are really going about this in a couple of different ways. We're removing sugar. Anybody who's done our 7-day detox is aware of this, has done this, and knows how great this whole process is. But we remove sugar. We also have this liver detox focus, because one thing that people don't realize for why they feel so great when they cut out or greatly reduce sugar is that it also helps their liver to process those old toxins more efficiently. So we are just doubling down on that additional benefit of removing sugar by also having this liver detox focus too, so that we can get even better results. This is why community members all across our AN community love this 7-day detox, because it's not just like just quitting sugar. There's so much science-backed information on how we can actually address the liver component too in a really easy, simple, delicious way as well. Okay, so I know that a lot of people who hear the word detox are rightly so skeptical, because there are so many like just kind of bogus detox products out there. I cannot even tell you guys how many emails I get every single day of different products where they're trying to advertise on my channel, where it's like some detox tea or detox something, like detox gummies, like so many different products. Literally, probably like 20 to 30 different emails every single day of people trying to promote these various probably bogus products. But it's important to know that the body is always detoxing. We're always getting rid of and processing toxins that we're exposed to. So we're always exposed to toxins. Toxins are really just things that our body can't use, and it has to be broken down and released in order to get rid of it. So you can think of something like alcohol, refined sugars, medications, and obviously just regular toxins that we're exposed to, that we think of as like pollutants in the air. There's a lot more than that. That's just like a brief overview. This is actually a page, or on this side, this is actually a page from the program where it starts to get into some of the details of liver detox. However, and these are done with our liver, our colon, our lungs, our kidneys, some of the main ones. Primarily our liver is the really big one. There is something that we need to know and understand when it comes to detox, and it's that there's a max capacity on how much our liver can process. You can think of our liver as like just any type of machine. There's only so many workers within our liver that can work to break down those toxins and process them and get rid of them. But if we're constantly taking these in, whether it be from like excessive alcohol intake, or if we have refined sugars that we're taking in on a daily basis, or refined processed carbohydrates as well, a lot of these different things can start to stack up. And then we just don't have as many of these like workers within our liver to actually process those and break it down as quickly as they're coming in. So what can happen is that those toxins are then stored as fat on the outside of the liver. That's the first initial stage of fatty liver disease, which can eventually lead to like non-alcoholic or alcoholic even fatty liver disease, and eventually even cirrhosis. So we want to make sure that we can address the fatty portion, the portion of toxins that are stored as excess, because our body didn't have time to process that. Give our body the actual time to process those extra toxins, and then be able to get rid of those so that we can start off with more of like a clean slate. Because when we have this excess stored fat around the liver, that's where it can lead to issues that we're all hearing all the time about, like insulin resistance, difficulties losing weight, low energy, etc. So the reason why we talk about like detox, it's not like we're doing the detox. It's not like the program itself is literally detoxing you. What's happening is it's providing the tools to help you to free up detox resources that your body actually has. So processing the stored toxins, cleaning up the liver, allowing your body to not have as many toxins coming in so that it can process those excess ones that are stored around the liver and then be able to get rid of those and then be able to not have as much of that fatty liver or the clogging going on. And that can help to improve insulin sensitivity, can help with easier time burning fat. Less sugar cravings is a really big one that most people experience almost immediately when they go through the 7-day sugar detox, or rather 7-day detox program. And a boost of energy because we're not stuck in this sugar burning state where we're getting like these highs and lows in energy. So, with that in mind, this is how it works for what we're going to be doing for the 7-day sugar detox, which starts on, or 7-day detox that starts on Monday, March 24th. So, a week from today. It's really like 3 main components that the program focuses on. We're removing detox inhibiting foods. So, foods that really clog up our liver and use those resources, those precious resources that make it so that we can't address the stored fat around our liver. So we're removing those detox inhibiting foods. So things like the excess sugar, for example, but there's a whole bunch of foods that maybe you might not have thought of. And then increasing detox promoting foods. So there's actually certain foods that have been found in research to actually help to increase the different phases of our liver detox. There's 3 main phases of our liver detox: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And especially phase 2 portion is very important for helping to speed up so that we can process things more quickly and again get the most out of our detox experience and feel the best. So there are certain foods that have been found to actually promote those various detox pathways. So that is one additional portion we're going to be adding in. And then the detox lifestyle habits too. So there's different things that we can do, different types of exercises we can do, sweating, things that we can do that really help to open up those detox pathways as well and make it so that we can more efficiently process those toxins. What you can expect for the 7-day detox, 7-day meal plan, of course, obviously, like you guys know, I love food. So these meals are delicious still, even though they are like these 7-day detox approved. They're delicious. They're simple. They're actually some of my favorite recipes on there. Science-backed detox tips, which will be very important during the whole 7-day detox, which is why I always really recommend making sure you actually read through the program before you just dive into the meal plan. It is a short read. It's not something that's like you need to have a college degree in biochemistry to understand. Everybody can understand this, and it is something that is so important to understand so that you can really get the most out of your experience and really feel the best and really help to jumpstart your weight loss or wellness progress. And then on Monday, we'll also be having another live stream. So I'll be going over some additional tips to help you with your 7-day detox experience. So definitely want to make sure you don't miss that on Monday of next week. It'll also be at 1 p.m. PST, just FYI. And then, of course, the AN Facebook group for accountability and support. I always talk about how important this factor alone is. So definitely make sure that you don't miss out on the Facebook group too, because we have like over 22,000 members, all super supportive and all who are on that same journey and just amazing people in there. And like I mentioned, delicious food. This is actually a screenshot from a video, I think it was like a year and a half ago, where I was doing the 7-day detox. Obviously, I've done it since then as well. This was just a screenshot from the video because it's like my favorite meal from the detox. The spice baked tenders, the broccoli salad, like it obviously looks delicious, but on top of that, you also have so many sneaky components in there that help to really promote liver detox and help you feel really great during that 7-day detox protocol. So yeah, delicious food that you get to look forward to during 7-day detox. It's awesome. So if you guys want to join the 7-day detox starting on Monday, March 24th, you can check out the details linked down description below. The 7-day detox program is also linked down description below. You can find it on my website at autumnlnutrition.shop. So autumn, ELLE, nutrition.shop. But yeah, link is also description below. But we also have blog posts with the details. I don't think I have the blog post link below, but I will after I go live. So you guys can find it more easily if you're watching this after the fact. But I want to go through and answer some questions because I'm sure there's probably some questions about the 7-day detox or just general questions. So if you guys have any questions, put 4 question marks before and after your question. Makes it a lot easier for me to find them. All right. Oh, thank you. I have all your programs, Autumn. Excited for your next one. Yeah, I've been working very hard. That's like the total side note, but I've been working very, very hard on the upcoming programs. This year we have a summer and a fall meal plan. Get excited because I've been working my booty off for it because it's going to be so good. uh, oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Started August 1st with autumn and I am down 45 pounds and 47 inches. Wow. That is amazing. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Chris, I'd like to start today. If there's a link trying to get right before a backpacking trip. Absolutely. Yeah. The link for the 7-day detox is down description below. I think it should just be the first link. So you should just find it pretty easily right there. Um, hello, Stephen. Yes. Looking forward to this detox and getting back active into the Facebook group. Absolutely. James, wait, how do I cut out all sugar? So it's technically not all sugar because there's sugar in any type of carbohydrate you eat. Sugar breaks, or rather, sugar breaks is the end product of carbohydrates as it's broken down. If you take like a basic type of nutrition class where you actually learn how food is broken down, if you're eating any carbohydrates, it is going to be broken down into sugar in some way. But the types of sugar and where they're coming from and how they're processed all can have such a different impact on how your body is going to be processing them and what the impact is on your body from those. So just like a brief example, we talked about like low, medium, and high glycemic load carbohydrates, the more refined carbohydrates, or like the foods that are really high in fructose, for example. Fructose has to be broken down by the liver. So that is something that we have limited resources for. Fructose is technically a simple sugar. So is glucose. Glucose is not something that needs to be broken down by the liver in order to be used. So there's a lot of differences, a lot of nuances. So that's why I don't like to just say like a zero sugar, like this is a sugar detox completely. This is something different. This is something science backed on how we can actually use the tools of reducing the foods that clog up our liver while using the additional foods that help to promote liver detox. But yeah, the details are all in the 7-day detox. This is why I highly recommend reading it because there's so much great information that will really help to support your journey. Claire, I have a question. I've read that if you eat carbs and fat at the same time or at the same meal, the carbs are digested first, then the fat, and the fat can be stored as fat. It's not really quite that simple. It's all digested at the same time. It's not like your stomach is partitioning out each macronutrient and going like, okay, here's protein, here's carbs, here's fat. We're going to first get that the carbohydrates broken down, and then we'll like absorb the fat. That's not really how it works. Actually, you do want to make sure that if you are going to have some type of carbs, and this is where it gets very nuanced as well, because like what type of carbs are we talking about? Are we talking about like the high glycemic load carbs or like medium or low? But again, just keep it simple. Um, for like how it's processed, especially if you are going to have like more medium or some high, you do want to make sure you're having that mixed meal with some fat, but especially with enough protein. That's the most important thing, because if you just have carbs on its own, that can really cause those carbs to be absorbed very quickly in the blood supply. Like, let's say if you're to just have, I don't know, like an apple. That's not even a good example because that's very low glycemic. I was trying to think of something that's like a pure carbohydrate, like a simple sugar, like taking a multiple spoonfuls of sugar, drinking soda. That's a great example because that's very high in sugar, pretty much just carbs. And you're getting a big dose of that right away. So if you're to have that, that's going to have a completely different impact on your body than even if you're to have that same amount of carbs from something that is mixed with protein and fat that also is a better source of carbohydrate. So like a sweet potato, for example, it's going to be absorbed a lot slower. It's not going to have as big of a blood sugar spike and fall. So it's not necessarily that you have to eat them separately, but the big things I like to focus on is looking at the quality of the carbohydrates, really sticking to higher quality carbohydrates. This can vary depending on your goal. I go a lot more into this in the body recomposition program. This is the program that came out last summer. So if you are very interested in like how these different macronutrients impact your body, how it is that you can use them based on your goal and how much of each you should be having, that is definitely a program you should be checking out. It's also on my website at autumnlnutrition.shop, the body recomposition program. It's exactly what I use to achieve my 20-pound postpartum weight loss goal. So highly recommend. But yeah, you want to look at the quality. as well as you don't want to necessarily have it in isolation, because it's when you have those carbohydrates combined with fat and protein that really helps to slow down the digestion and make it so that we can not get as big of a blood sugar spike. Claire, hi, love the plan. Thank you. Austin, what were those chicken strips? I missed what you said. That's one of the recipes within the 7-day detox. It is so good. The spiced baked tenders, I believe is what I called them. So amazing. But yeah, it's one of the detox recipes. So great recipes in there. Destiny, is this safe to do at any point in pregnancy? There shouldn't be a reason why it's unsafe, because you're focused on just eliminating foods that actually can be harmful for a developing child, and really increasing foods that can be beneficial. However, that being said, of course, each person's whole experience with pregnancy is going to be different. So definitely check with your doctor. I'm actually pregnant right now. I'm going to be doing the 7-day detox and just making sure I'm eating enough. Because I will say, like, I have not had any sugar cravings this whole pregnancy, but for some reason, like last week I did. And I definitely had like a little bit more like chocolate and some other things than I probably should have, hence like the breakout that I have right now. So I'm really looking forward to this as well. But yeah, you'll just want to make sure that just in case you have any other type of specific complications, that you want to check in with your OBGYN. Thoughts on homemade sourdough bread? Love your channel. Thank you. I have really come around to homemade sourdough bread, because especially if you can get it from whole wheat sources. So homemade sourdough bread, for those of you guys who aren't familiar, is so different than store-bought. Store-bought often isn't even like really, you're not really getting true sourdough. What you're getting is like a regular quick fermented bread that then they're adding some type of acid, like a vinegar, in to make it taste like it's sour, like the traditional sourdough is. But real homemade sourdough bread, if you've made it for, which PT, I'm sure you probably have if you're asking this question, then you're familiar with the fact that you ferment it for like even 24 hours sometimes. Sometimes people even do it longer if you're fermenting in the fridge. But that slow fermentation really helps to break down the carbohydrates and gluten in a way that makes the bread so much more nutritious and so much more bioavailable. And it makes it so that the gluten, a lot of the gluten is broken down. So you don't get as much of that like gut sensitivity issue either. So the glycemic index, or load rather, of like a regular slice of bread versus like a real fermented sourdough bread, completely different. Real fermented sourdough bread, again, especially if you can get it with like real whole wheat that actually still contains some nutritional value and isn't completely stripped and really highly processed flour, that actually has more bioavailable nutrients and is going to be more on the lower glycemic load side. So yeah, I've actually been using that throughout my pregnancy. I've been having a slice a day. If you guys have seen my What I Eat in a Day videos, to go along with my eggs in the morning, because I've just been like loving eggs this pregnancy, which is great. But I can't have eggs on like just alone. I have to have it with a slice of bread. Otherwise it like makes my stomach feel queasy. And I've been doing really well with homemade sourdough. Or I don't get homemade. I would love to have homemade sourdough. I actually am lucky enough to have a local baker who does the real slow fermentation and uses whole wheat. Eventually, like after this pregnancy, I will get back to doing homemade because it is fun. Stephanie, what are some low glycemic carbs? Just to get an idea. I have a full blog post with full like printable lists if you want to check that out. But just to give you an idea, like most fruits are actually low glycemic load. And I focus on load, not index. They are two different things. And I think I talked about that a bit in the blog post that has the printables on how you can like print out the different glycemic lists. But load is more accurate than index. So like pretty much all whole fruits, pretty much all vegetables that's not like a root vegetable would be low glycemic. Some legumes in certain amounts, like chickpeas, for example, I think it's at 1 cup or less is considered low glycemic load. So you can check out my blog post. I have just type Autumn Bates glycemic load chart on Google and it'll pop right up. That's a really great resource. I also have exact, really comprehensive lists in the body recomposition program that I mentioned earlier. Again, you can find that on my website at autumnlnutrition.shop. Oh, yay, Army. I actually started today, but I wanted to join on the 24th. I purchased it before and hadn't been able to start the process. I'm so excited for you. Yeah, I mean, you guys can start today if you want. You really can do this for like 2 weeks if you wanted to. If you feel great and if you want to keep it going, you absolutely can. There's no reason why you have to just do 7 days, but 7 days is typically enough for most people to start to really feel a lot better. Oh, Hannah, good question. What are your thoughts on lactose-free products? They're everywhere here in Sweden, but are they better for me as carb sensitive but not lactose intolerant? That's a great question. So, depends on the lactose-free product. Typically, all they're doing with the lactose-free product is they're adding in an enzyme to break down the lactose. Since a lot of people are lactose intolerant, they don't have that enzyme, the lactase enzyme, to break it down into those two simple sugars. So they're adding that enzyme in to break it down so that you don't have that like GI issue. So it's not like it's lower carb or lower sugar. It actually has the same amount. It's just kind of like pre-digested. So it's pretty much the same. And if you aren't already lactose intolerant, then there's not really much of a benefit for you. Unless I will say, unless it's naturally low lactose because of fermentation, that would be better if you are carb sensitive because those sugars, it is going to be a lower sugar product because you are converting those sugars, not just breaking them down into sugars, but you're actually converting them into lactic acid instead. So it's not actually a sugar anymore. That's why like fermented products like yogurt or Greek yogurt, kefir, they taste a little bit sour, and that's because of the lactic acid, and that actually has a good blood sugar stabilizing benefit. So if you're using naturally low lactose products because they're fermented, great. If you're carb sensitive and you're looking for the best dairy option, that would be the better dairy option. But just lactose free, like milk, for example, is pretty, and if you're not already lactose intolerant, it's pretty much going to be the same impact on you as just regular milk. Claire, great. Thanks. This is really helpful. I also have the body recomp program, and that's very informative. Yeah, that's one of my, I mean, all my programs, every time I make them, I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever because I create what I would love to have during the beginning of my journey. And each of my programs has such a different specific focus. But they all are so great to add to the arsenal to make sure that you actually have a well rounded approach to your nutrition journey. Oh, hi, Laura. I'm looking forward to doing the detox with everyone in the group. I love the recipes. Me too. Thank you, Laura. Celine, I love your recipes. Thank you. Mary is a 7-day detox free to enroll. There's not like a sign up, but you do have to actually get the program in order to do the actual program. It is linked down description below if you want to check it out. It's one-time purchase of $20 and you have it for your entire life. And then you can always join the program or join the challenges whenever we have them, or do it on your own whenever you want, whenever you feel like you need a refresh. It's kind of like just buying a book, but one that has a lot more resources because there's a lot of things to click in there as well. Sorry, I just got here, but does the sugar detox also include fruits? Yes. So this is something that I kind of talked about earlier. I would recommend if you're just joining in, go to the beginning of this live stream, watch from the beginning because we talk a lot about the actual detox process, what it is that we're doing, and how this is different from just like a regular sugar detox where you're just like removing all sugars, or maybe even like a carnivore diet where it's literally zero carb. This is completely different. So if you're just joining in, I'd recommend just rewinding to the beginning because there's a lot of good information for you to check out on there. All right. Oh yeah, Diane, I just got here too. Hello. All right, guys. So we are starting the 7-day detox on Monday, March 24th. So I highly recommend you guys grab the program like either now or within the next couple of days so that you have the next couple of days to read through it and prepare. It's not a long read, but it is so packed with information that will really help to support your journey and really help you to feel your best before or during and after those 7 days. So make sure you grab that sooner rather than later. It is linked down description below. And that way you're prepared coming on Monday to just kick off the week with a bang. So yeah, we are starting on Monday, March 24th, which is this upcoming week. We'll have another live stream on this upcoming Monday as well with some additional detox tips there too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm super excited to be doing these 7-day detox with you guys next week. And I'll see you on Monday next week.